Hello, everyone, and welcome to another AMP podcast. I'm Ben Dubose, news editor with AMP Publications. AMP, of course, is a shorthand acronym for the Association for Materials Protection and Performance, and both Materials Performance, or MP, and Coatings Pro Magazine are member magazines within our AMP Publications group. This episode is part of a special series spotlighting the winners of the 2025 Materials Performance Corrosion Innovation of the Year Award. These awards celebrate cutting-edge technologies that are driving progress in corrosion control and protective materials. We honored them in a special ceremony at the 2025 AMP Annual Conference and Expo in Nashville earlier this spring. Today, we're featuring one of this year's standout innovations in the cathodic protection category, and that's the Cortalk RDL1 remote data logger from MOBILTEX. So to discuss that, joining us today, we've got Tony DaCosta, Vice President of Engineering at MOBILTEX. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the science behind the Cortalk brand and the RDL1, what this award means for MOBILTEX, and ultimately how this technology is already making a difference out in the field. Tony, thanks so much for joining us. And why don't you start by just telling us a little bit about your career background, as well as that of MOBILTEX as a company?
Well, first of all, Ben, thank you for having me on. Now, on my career, that's going back a few years. I first started my career over 3 decades ago, designing hardware, firmware, and DSP algorithms for wireless data radio systems. When I moved to MOBILTEX 26 years ago, experience was a pretty natural fit for the wireless telemetry systems that MOBILTEX was producing. And through my time with MOBILTEX, I've designed numerous products that are in our current portfolio, and now I lead a team of dedicated professionals that continue to bring exciting new creations to the industry. When I started with MOBILTEX, it had already begun exploring the cathodic protection remote monitoring space with some early systems that communicated over private terrestrial radio networks. Within a few years, we pivoted to focusing on CP monitoring solely with products that utilized more cost-effective public data networks such as cellular and satellite. We were one of the first companies in the market to design iridium-based remote monitors that extended the coverage of the remote monitors to something that was truly global. At the same time, we made the decision to develop a hosted multi-tenant web-based data platform to house the information transmitted by the remote monitors, and that really gave our customers access to data anywhere an internet connection was available. That's something that wasn't very common in the industry then. This is all to say that MOBILTEX's DNA has been and continues to be that of putting innovation at the forefront for our customers. Today, 40 years after it started, MOBILTEX has a comprehensive portfolio of hardware and software products that help our customers operate their cathodic protection programs.
Yeah, and to follow up on that a little bit, just looking at CP remote monitoring holistically, what are some of the big challenges there? Obviously speaking in broad strokes, and what are you all trying to improve during your technology development processes?
These days, the challenges of CP remote monitoring largely revolve around dynamic events in the operation of the CP system. With many pipelines running in utility corridors next to other pipelines, power transmission lines, and transit systems, sources of dynamic interference, both AC and DC, have substantial impact on the successful operation of cathodic protection systems. In addition, we now have many renewable energy projects in solar and wind that are dotting the countryside. Those are creating additional ground current paths that affect cathodic protection. Existing remote monitors have been more geared towards collecting data related to steady state operation of CP. Sampling rates were more typical at once a day or sometimes even just once a week. That's fine for static CP systems with no interference sources, but for dynamic interference sources where intense current spikes remain over a period less than an hour or even less than seconds sometimes, those historical remote monitoring sampling rates just don't cut it. The traditional solution had largely been to deploy portable data loggers to areas where interference was suspected, and suspected usually because corrosion damage had already been found. In those situations, field technicians would drive out to the locations, drop data loggers, wait several days hoping that data loggers work properly, and then drive back to retrieve the data loggers to extract the data and perform analysis. But if a data logger failed to collect data due to misconfiguration or other issues, the process might need to be repeated. In dialogues with our customers, we recognized that there was a better way. Our experience in producing power efficient remote monitoring devices, as well as high sampling rate portable data loggers, really gave us the ability to meld the two technologies together to produce the RDL1, which is, of course, a remote communicating high sampling rate data logger. Now, the high sampling rate data can be observed almost immediately after installation, and that can be done from the comfort of an office environment. And the two-way communication allows the unit to be adjusted in real time from that same office. That's uh, that's now a powerful solution for users to have in their diagnostic toolbox.
So you mentioned the RDL1. Let's flash forward to earlier this year because some big news in 2025 for you guys, as mentioned off the top, you're among the 2025 MP Corrosion Innovation of the Year award winners. So CoreTalk is its own brand, but RDL1 is one of the really quality innovations within it. What was your reaction when you learned that the RDL1 had won? And ultimately, what does that type of industry recognition mean to you and to the company?
Well, it's always an honor to be recognized by our industry in this way. And it's our third MP Innovation Award now. To me, it's really validation that listening to our customers' pain points has allowed us to create products that are solving a need in industry that really wasn't being fulfilled before that. All of the hard work and dedication that goes into creating these products is worth it, and we'll certainly continue pushing the envelope.
This September 8th through the 10th, all roads lead to Odessa, Texas for the AMPP Central Conference, where the future of corrosion and coatings comes to life. From AI-driven pipeline integrity and advanced cathodic protection monitoring to cutting-edge AC interference strategies, this is where innovation meets infrastructure. Dive into groundbreaking technical sessions tailored to the challenges of the Central U.S. and the Permian Basin. Advanced registration is now open. Secure your spot today and save. Register now at ampp.org/central-conference.
Some background on the program. These are innovations that are in development within the last 5 years. That's how we consider these innovations current, i.e., accurately reflecting innovations in and around the year that they're awarded. So, how long has this been in development? What's the timeline been like? And where are we at now as far as the commercialization and the rollout of the RDL1? Take us through the development process and where you're at today.
Yeah, we first started collecting requirements for the RDL1 in early 2021. Our product management team talked to many of our customers to determine common workflows and challenges that they were having. You know, not every customer has the same requirements. They do use products in varying ways. So then we kicked off the development project in October 2021. There was a lot of hard work put in by the development team to be able to meet operational targets for battery life and measurement capabilities. The high sampling rates and need for isolated inputs posed some pretty unique challenges for power efficiency. Those were overcome by the use of newer technologies that we had researched. And after the product was functionally complete, we did have a beta validation period with several key users that was performed to ensure operation across the select workflows. And by 2022, December 2022, the product was in full production. So it's now in full field deployment by a multitude of our customers in a variety of use cases.
So, any tool like this inherently has some competition. What is it that makes the RDL1 unique relative to anything else like it that's out there on the market?
I think I mentioned before the melding of the remote monitoring with high speed data logging it's really the most unique part of the RDL1. But there are a couple of other items that also make it unique. First, it's the RDL1's ability to be battery powered while still offering near real-time communications of that high sampling rate measurement set. In most use cases, the RDL1 offers between 5 and 10 years of battery life. So this greatly reduces the amount of field maintenance that is required over its operational life. Second, edge processing of the acquired data to provide useful statistical information. It can be used to drive deeper investigations into a focal area of the data set that's being acquired. Having a lot of data coming in from the field can be quite overwhelming, so summary statistics can help focus the investigations.
In terms of those users, what feedback have you heard or gotten from the field from people that are actively using this today?
Well, we've certainly heard from users. Few stories do come to mind. In the first, users were tasked with monitoring corrosion in a concrete bridge where a DC-powered train utilized one of the bridge decks. They were concerned that power from the train could pass into the track and then into the concrete along the rebar and eventually exit to earth, which could result in increased corrosion of the rebar. The train tracks are normally insulated from ground, but those insulators occasionally fail. They designed a detection system where a continuous wire was embedded in the concrete below the rails, such that there shouldn't be any current flowing under normal circumstances. Then, if an insulator fails under the track, the current would increase on the parallel wire when the train passes by. The RDL1, with its fast sampling mode and remote communications, was able to monitor the current in that wire, and it allowed the failed insulators to be replaced in a timely manner by sending the notifications to the user. In second user story, this was really related to a safety issue. AMP's standard for AC touch safety on a structure is first 15 volts AC. For this pipeline operator, there was an AC power line running parallel to the pipeline. And fortunately, communications between AC power utility operators and pipeline operators has been and continues to be, well, let's really say it, terrible in many areas, and that included this one. AC peak power loads can induce a high voltage on parallel pipes that pose a safety issue to technicians performing maintenance and testing those pipe segments under those conditions. This customer decided to install RDL1 units on the pipeline, operating at a high sample rate to alert them when the pipe AC voltage was above 15 volts AC to prevent worker injury. Yet another use case, a pipeline operator was having issues with interference. With the RDL1 as a part of their tool set, the operator was able to track the issue down to a malfunctioning power converter at a solar farm. It's really been interesting to see the creative ways that the product has been put into use by our customers. But we're also not resting on our laurels either. There's been some feedback from our users on ways to improve the RDL1. As an example, there was a use case we hadn't originally considered that resulted in much faster battery consumption than originally modeled. So we're addressing that unique case by providing external power options in the form of solar and extended battery packs.
Yeah, and beyond the obvious benefits, the talking points, I'm sure there's a few ripple effects as well. And one of those you touched on a few minutes ago. By using this, operators also get a lot of safety benefits from not putting people out in the field and potentially in harm's way, right? You're also saving expenses because you're not having to do as much traditional maintenance. Is that another example beyond just the basics of CP protection that a tool like this provides, in that ultimately, if it plays out the way it's designed, not only are you providing the asset protection, but you're also providing human protection by putting people out there less, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's a large reduction in the need for windshield time whenever a remote monitoring unit is put out there. That's a lot of risk when someone has to be out on the road needlessly. But not only is there a risk reduction from the driving and the on-site hazards, but there are also environmental aspects to this as well, in that you also have a reduction in non-renewable energy use by not having the technicians travel to site as often. And ultimately, the reduction in field travel does provide a significant cost benefit to those operators.
Hi, I'm Lisa Shortino, Managing Editor of Coatings Pro Magazine. Are you interested in exploring the latest trends in materials degradation and mitigation? If so, you can join scientists, engineers, and industry leaders at the 22nd International Conference on Environmental Degradation of Materials in Nuclear Power Systems, happening August 10th through 14th, 2025 in Long Beach, California. Hosted by AMP, this premier event brings together global experts to tackle the challenges impacting safety and performance in nuclear systems. Registration is now open. Secure your spot today at envdeg.amp.org. We'll see you in Long Beach.
So anytime you're talking about an innovative technology, there are some people that are going to have questions, and users that is, as to how they should best use it, how they can best optimize it. So I know for you all at MOBILTEX, developing the technology is part of the equation, but there's also a constant dialogue that you all are engaging in with your end users as far as troubleshooting, offering advice, tips and tricks. What is that process like? What are the ways that you collaborate with your end users to make sure that they're actually optimizing your technologies to the best of their ability?
As mentioned before, MOBILTEX works with customers right from product planning all the way through to field support. We pride ourselves on being customer driven in our product developments. It always starts with the customer interviews that I mentioned before. Throughout the product development, we also get the feedback on the beta trials and continued conversations to make sure we've translated all those requirements properly. But finally, once the product is to a production stage, we have individuals trained in cathodic protection operation to assist in selecting the best product for a use case, and then also diagnosing operation if something unexpected is encountered. For a manufacturer of remote monitoring equipment, we have a large portion of our engineering, sales, and support teams that are certified as AMP CP1 through CP3. On the support end, we pride ourselves on the level of support that we provide our customers, and knowledge of the application really is imperative in being able to do that.
Looking ahead to the future, so the RDL1 is the winning innovation, but Quartalk is its own brand that's got an umbrella of products underneath it that are constantly being added to, being refined. So in the years ahead, the rest of 2025, the remainder of the 2020s, what's your outlook on how this Quartalk brand is going to evolve? Are there additional enhancements or applications that you're exploring? Are there any market trends in CP remote monitoring that you're trying to better adapt to? Just speak to what the future of Quartalk looks like.
Yeah, I alluded to it a little bit earlier, but most of the evolution of Core Talk over the next few years will be in the area of data analysis and
Mhm.
synthesis. The vast amount of data being collected in the field today is only growing more and more as time goes on. We've got enhanced worldwide wireless coverage from satellite and cellular systems that's made acquiring data extremely affordable anywhere on Earth. And that's really just encouraging more remote data acquisition. While the general thought is that more data is better, there really comes a point where the recipients of that data become overloaded to where only superficial analysis is performed on data sets, or they're ignored altogether even. There needs to be an automated means of analyzing that data and then providing summarized actionable reports. That's where we come in to add value to the data. We have and continue to invest heavily in our data science efforts, which allow us to attain those focused reports through the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies. At the AMP annual conference and expo this year, we announced our Core Insights platform along with our BMM1 wireless field meter that aim to help our customers rein in their survey data and regulatory reporting activities by providing a centralized location for their CP data. We see that platform expanding over the next few years in its analytic capabilities as well, but it'll help drive other programs as well. Having data consolidated is important when data analysis techniques are applied. Between the data from RMUs, core insights, and other data sets, we'll be delivering not only analytical reports, but eventually prescriptive direction and perhaps even full automation. That's not only for CP operational parameters, but also for scheduling and maintenance. We're working today with select customers on determination of end-of-life prediction for their compressed current ground beds so that they can better forecast budgets and resources for replacement. So it's all quite exciting and keeps us going day to day.
Good stuff. Tony, thank you so much for the time. For any listeners that want to potentially learn more about MOBILTEX or the Core Talk brand, or perhaps get in touch with you guys, what are the best ways for them to do that? I'm guessing it's the website and social media. Plug whatever you'd like to.
Certainly, listeners can definitely go to our website at www.mobiltex.com or contact us by email at sales@mobiltex.com.
Excellent. Tony, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Ben.
Absolutely glad to have you. That's Tony DaCosta, Vice President of Engineering at Calgary, Alberta, Canada-based MOBILTEX, one of the winners of our 2025 MP Corrosion Innovation of the Year Awards. I want to congratulate them and all of our winners again. And this series profiling those winners will be continuing throughout the remainder of 2025. So stay tuned in the weeks ahead for more episodes from some of our other winners. The easiest place to read about them, if you have not already, just go to amp.org/MP Innovation Awards, and you can find the full list. All right, with that, we'll wrap it for today. As Tony mentioned, you can learn more about their products and services at mobiltex.com, mobiltex.com. They're also active on pretty much all the major social media platforms. And then for us at AMP, you can find more resources from us and our publications within the association at our website or social media outlets. Just search for us at your social media home of choice, or you can go to amp.org, ampp.org, coatingsformag.com, or materialsperformance.com. All right, with all the plugs complete, we will bring this episode to a close. On behalf of AMP, I'm Ben Dubose, news editor with our AMP Publications team. We appreciate you so much for tuning in, and please come back soon for more new AMP podcasts.